Hello gunners, welcome to another video, and in today's video, I can't lie, we're here to laugh at rival fans. I know it's only 3 or 4 games into the Premier League season, but the way people have been talking about a certain Viktor Gyokeres has got me kind of angry, considering the way they talk about other strikers. When it's Arsenal, they always have something to say. But before I begin, if you are new here, please hit the subscribe, hit the like as well, and of course a massive shout out to the guys at Dragon Jersey for once again sponsoring this video. If you want to get yourself a kit, Arsenal past or present, use code Fanatics for 10% off at their checkout. I put a link to the company's website down below. But yes, we're talking about Viktor Gyokeres because some of the things that have been said about him, considering how many goals he's already scored for Arsenal, is quite insane. Let's have a look at what was said here on the overlap, where, you know, there's Paul Scholes, where there's Jamie Carragher, where you think there's going to be a bit of professionalism in terms of the panel and the fans chosen, but it's far from it. Let's have a listen.
Scores the most goals in the Premier League. There you go. That's what we're going to go in.
Wow.
It's never going to happen. That's go in it. Top Premier League goals.
I mean, now it looks like he's playing with jeans on.
Now you build Gyokeres up.
It looks like he's playing with jeans on.
Do you hear what someone said? I don't know who it was. It looks like he plays
Playing
with
in
jeans on.
jeans. You can have that one.
So there you have it, people laughing. Not only are they laughing at the fact that they don't think Gyokeres will get anywhere near the Premier League top scorers, because that's what the first giggle was about. The second giggle was more about the fact that Gyokeres plays like he has jeans on. You know, this is where we're heading in terms of punditry, in terms of analysis of players. It's all just banter and jokes and bring them down. Look, you know, these players, I get it, they're paid a lot of money. Yes, they've got the expectation to perform, but it's not fair. You know, if he's in jeans and he's scoring 20 goals a season, nobody's going to care. You know, it's the same thing about he had more hair flicks than he did touches against Manchester United. We're 3-4 games into the Premier League season and narratives already being written. And I think the fan that did say that supports Tottenham or Manchester United. So in that sense, that's funny in its own sense, to be honest. United fans and their Benjamin Sesko is not looking good for him in terms of a player. Like I said, I'm never going to be a person to hit down on somebody, but Benjamin Sesko has really struggled, and that career move for him is not right. And he's going to get nowhere near the abuse that Sesko's getting, that Gyokeres is getting at the minute, because expectations are different. You know, it's crazy because I made this graphic today, and here it is. Gyokeres has scored 3 Premier League goals, which is the same as Sesko, Ekitike, Mateta, all combined. Even add Mbeumo, even add Cunha to that as well. Not Mbeumo, sorry, add Cunha instead. He has scored the same amount of goals as the Cunhas, of the Ekitikes, of the Seskos, as the Matetas all combined. And people were laughing, saying he plays with jeans on, that it is somehow funny that he could anywhere get near the top scorers charts, because that's funny to me, because here he is sitting in second place already, early days, but he's there. You're thinking about the opponents that we have had, guys. It is insane that Gyokeres is on that sort of scoring list with the teams that we've sort of played. We've played Manchester United away from home. We've played Liverpool away from home. We've played Nottingham Forest, who finished in the top 5-6. I think it's the top 6 they finished in. We played them. You know, all of these games are difficult games. Leeds United coming up from the Premier League, second game of the season, just after they'd won their first game of the season with momentum on their side. We played them as well. And Gyokeres is leaving with a 3 in sort of 4 or 5 ratio. I even keep on forgetting how many games we've played. I think it is 4. So a 3 and 4 ratio is very good. He's well on his way to scoring 20 Premier League goals. And this is a guy they're laughing that he plays with jeans on. This is a guy that they think it's so funny to laugh that he's going to be anywhere near the scorers charts. It's insane. But look, Gyokeres, I think one of the main things, and one of the things that I guess I could never dispute about this signing, is his mentality. He thinks he's the best. He wants to be the best, and he wants to be the main man to score the goals. And that's important, you know. I think these days football has gone away from more so, you know, all about ability. I think the mental aspect is really making an impact in today's game. You're looking at a lot of players like an Eze. Is Eze an out-and-out better footballer than Rodrigo? If you'd asked this question, you know, 2 or 3 seasons ago, you'd be laughed at for thinking Eze is anywhere near the levels of Rodrigo. But mentality-wise, you're looking at Eze, you're looking at Rodrigo, it's clear that Eze's mentality is far better. And this goes into the same thinking of the striker situation. You're looking at Sesko. You're looking at his mentality compared to Gyokeres' mentality. It's night and day. Gyokeres is happy to be the main guy. He's happy to be hit. Mikel Arteta always talks about Gyokeres in this sort of way, whereby he had a conversation with him, and it was almost like Gyokeres wants to be the main guy. He was like, yes, let's do it. And this has been a common theme with the Arsenal signings this summer. Everybody wants the challenge. Look at Zubimendi. He left Real Sociedad. He said he wants a top coach. He wants a good coach to be involved in terms of his next stage of development. Mikel Arteta was the guy. You're looking at how he's doing now and how hungry he is for success. That goes to show a phenomenal player. You're then looking at Noni Madueke. Interview came out from Mikel Arteta talking about Noni Madueke and how the first conversation he was like, come on, let's do it. And they talked about the petitions and the criticism going his way. Noni Madueke wanted to show the world that he is good enough. That's critical. Having these players that want this challenge, having these players who don't care about the noise really, that you can call him a guy with jeans on. The guy with jeans on is the second highest scorer in the Premier League. The guy with jeans on has had the same combined goals as your Matetas, who's been in division for a while. Your Seskos, who was signed for 80 odd million. Your Cunhas, that was signed for 60 odd million. Your Ekitikes, who was signed for 80 million. He's got the same amount of goals as those guys combined. That just goes to show, mentality-wise, with all the noise around him, it's easy to crumble. Let's not lie. Because the Premier League, the Punditry, this channel, we're talking about it quite a lot, about what people say and the fans and everybody. You know, I know most of it is like funny, jokey banter. But it's only funny, jokey banter if you get it on both ways, to other clubs, to other players. I don't see this sort of scrutiny on Gyokeres like there is on any other striker. Loads of strikers have come in and gone games without scoring. I'm not seeing enough. I'm talking about Sesko. I'm talking about other players that have signed. I'm seeing Florian Wirtz, phenomenal player by the way, but there's not scrutiny on him. There was stats being made for him, the most forward runs, the most runs behind. Look, they wouldn't dare put stats like that to justify Gyokeres, to justify Eze, to justify Madueke. They just ignore it. But hey, what I have learned, to be honest, is we can't be reliant on punditry being correct. We cannot be reliant on people being nice about us, because I think that will show that we're a team that are regressing. If pundits become nice about Arsenal, it shows we're regressing and we're getting worse. The more they're hammering us, the more they're getting on to us, the more it's showing that we're even better, that we're going on for these major honours. And to be honest, I did see a stat, because I saw a video about Gary Neville talking about Arsenal and how they're not going to finish any higher than 4th, I think in 2021. But on that topic of Manchester United, Mikel Arteta has the 3rd most wins against Manchester United in the history. No manager other than Pep Guardiola and Arsene Wenger have more wins against Manchester United than Arteta. And think about how long they've been in the division managing compared to Arteta. I'm going to leave you guys with that one. But peace.